All right, so I'm recording now technically to make Emily happy. Welcome. I'm Valentina, and I'm going to be talking today about Instagram. So let me share my screen. Da-da-ba-ba. If you guys cannot see the screen, please let me know. And I'm minimizing your faces. Instagram. This is going to be a great 45 minutes or so. If you have any questions, we're going to leave it towards the end here, but please make sure that you're muted. And if you have any questions, put it in the chat here. Make sure you're muted. So let's get started here today. This is the most funniest thing, but the most exact thing of what's going on
Good
Instagram.
morning.
Good morning.
I'm okay.
Yes, if you
If I
guys don't
don't answer you, I'm listening to a webinar.
if you guys don't mind muting yourselves so we don't hear everyone's background noise. So what I was saying earlier today was this is the story of everyone's life when it comes to Instagram. People post this idealistic, happy thing of what they're doing when in fact they're not really doing those sort of things. They're just putting this visual. But with Instagram, why it's so important, this is for anyone that's just joined into the call here, for anyone that's into numbers, let me read this out loud because someone might be multitasking and I want them to stop themselves in their tracks and see why this is so important. Instagram has over 2.3 billion monthly active users, about 700 to 800 million daily active users, and this is the one that we really need to pause and make sure we understand why Instagram is so important. It has 58 times more engagement per follower than Facebook. That's that process. I'm from Miami, Florida, so I talk fast and loud. So let me repeat that one more time. Instagram has 58 times more engagement per follower than Facebook. And this one was really good. I just put this one in here recently. 64% of people use Instagram to research products and services. So we're going to talk about content. We're going to talk about hashtags. We're going to talk about stories. When I created this specific presentation, I wanted something that in 1 hour, you had three to-dos. Fix your content, incorporate hashtags, and look into stories. So when we look at Instagram here, this is my bio. So if you were to go and open up an Instagram account, the first thing you have to do is fill out your information. What is it that you do? What do you want to be known for? And very importantly, I'm going to use some of you all as examples. Hopefully you don't mind. We are here to learn from each other. This is all coming from a place of love. I want to help you all because you are here willing to invest your time to learn more about Instagram. When it comes to Instagram, you want to put keywords that you want to be known for. So when you see my slide here, you see that I have my whole name written out and I talk about my business beyond engagement. You want to fill out that, like, it's about 120 characters, so maybe a sentence and a half of what you want people to know you as. Maybe it's just your name, maybe it's your business name, maybe it's both things. Make sure you have both things written out in your profile on Instagram. And then this is, again, if you want to access this when you first set it up, or if you already are set up, it's in the bottom right-hand side, usually where your logo or your face is, and this is how you get to this. Another thing I wanted to mention, you only have one spot in all of Instagram to really show off that link to your website, to your Facebook page, to wherever you want people to go to. I am very greedy, so I use a thing called Linktree, and you see how it's spelled funny? That's how it's really spelled. So it's linktr.ee, and I have multiple passions, so I have one link that I can use on Instagram to direct people to multiple things, like signing up for my newsletter, seeing my latest blog post, seeing when my next webinar is going to be. That Linktree takes you to, and then even like the book that I'm a co-author in, it's taking you to so many different places. So that's why I use Linktree. Another thing I wanted to talk about was when you go to your profile, let's say you're at the farmer's market or your hours of operations, or there's a specific place that you want people to know about you. It's kind of like the pin to top of Facebook. So you have three pins, three things that you want people to see no matter what you post today, tomorrow, next week. These are three things that you want people to know you as. So in the first picture, it's a picture of me presenting. The second picture is a picture of me with my laptop holding a cookie that looks like my laptop. And then the third one is a picture of me holding the book that I'm a co-author in. So no matter what I post today, tomorrow, next week, those are the first three things people see. And I can remove those things and change them. Once you post it, you can go to the three dots after you post something on Instagram, and then you can pin it to the top of your profile. But this is getting a little bit too advanced. I just wanted to make you start thinking, what are three things that I want to pin to the top of my profile? Like I said, maybe it's hours of operations, maybe it's a type of product or service or thing that you sell, those sort of things. Just start thinking about that. You can also provide a link to external links like a Facebook page as well. One exercise that I have everyone do, and it's my favorite exercise from my mentor, Mark Schaefer. Only I, only we. What is it that you do? And this is something to maybe write in a sheet of paper. Another exercise is like, what do you do that separates you from other people that do something similar as you? So I was looking at, like, for example, the food truck. There's a lot of people that have food truck, but what makes your food truck special? You're going to say, well, it's a Puerto Rican food truck. Well, maybe there's another one in Johnson City. What separates your food truck from the other food truck that's in Johnson City? Or maybe it's the type of produce that you grow, or maybe it's a type of farm that you have. What separates you? Or maybe it's the type of piglets. Someone was saying that they have a specific type of pig farm. I want to know more about that pig, but what is it that separates you from someone else? That's something that you really want to hone in and put in your bio and when you write something on your social media captions to really differentiate yourself. So, Green Phoenix Farm Products, if you are here today, put it in the chat box, but this is something I wanted to mention. So it doesn't have anything in the bio. There's no information about what you guys have to offer. It just says Meg Harper Thrift. So this is why you want to incorporate both your name and your business name in the bio. So if someone were to search for it, you would show up. Tell us more about what you have to offer. Faithful Friend Fields Farm. That's a tongue twister, and it's right next to my house. It's near the Boones Creek area, and I've already visited, and it's super fun. I'm super excited about this new business because we definitely desperately need that type of business in the Boones Creek area. There's a gap there. So again, we want to put something in the bio to explain more about what we have to offer. And then this new thing that you're offering, the ice cream service, is going to be huge. So we definitely want to hone in onto what are the products that we have that make us special, that make us stand out. So again, really honing in on that bio, explaining a story about what you have to offer. Now we're getting fancy. Granberry Farms, Melinda, if you are here today, please show us in the chat that you're here. But this is a good one. I really commend you, Melinda. You deserve a cookie because this is a really good bio. Hi, I'm Melinda. I'm putting the tea in Tennessee. I love it. I love it. Working to grow and produce black and herbal teas. Like, I'm a tea junkie. Like, I actually, once we get off of this and I'm going to show my face, you'll see that I'm drinking tea right now. So this is a great bio. It's telling you exactly what she's known for. And there's little cute emojis if you want to throw in an emoji here and there. This is a really good example of a bio. So definitely, Melinda, you deserve a cookie. This is another one. This is cute because it tells you exactly, handcrafted treats and pampering essentials. It's telling you where they're located. It has the website. So there's substance on that. That's a really good bio as well. So what is it that we're going to use and post? So we're going to get into the content aspect here on Instagram. What do we want to post? So this is a very chunky slide. I hate having slides with a lot of information, but let's start digesting some things that we can talk about. Thought leadership. Maybe you started a business because you saw a gap, you saw a need, you want to solve a problem. Maybe you have a specific product or feature, or maybe you're launching like the Leslie is at her farm shop, that she has the new ice cream stuff. So maybe you really want to highlight that sort of stuff. Another thing that's really important, that's why I have it in purple. For the people that are multitasking, let me say this out loud very slowly. User-generated content. 73% of people said that user-generated content reassured them about their decision to buy a particular product. What does that mean? that basically says, okay, I'm going to go to Leslie's farm that has the ice cream thing, and I'm going to take a picture and post it and use it on my Instagram or my Instagram stories. Leslie is going to see that I tagged her, and she's going to utilize that picture of me eating an ice cream and having all that ice cream dripping down my face and post it to her own social media. And that's going to reassure people, oh, that's Valentina. Oh, if Valentina loves it, we definitely have to like try out that place. So that's why user generated content is so imperative when it comes to social media content. Another thing that's really good to think about is offer, promotion, cause-related marketing. If you're helping a local nonprofit or you're helping an organization, holidays, I was just posting about this on LinkedIn. You blink and the holidays are right around the corner. Once we hit August, we need to start thinking about holidays. We need to start thinking about our Halloween, our fall themed items. Start thinking, posting. If you have a pumpkin that's already, about to pop out of there and harvest, definitely start taking those pictures now because holidays will be here before you know it. Events, if you're partnering with someone or if you're attending the Blue Plum or a farmer's market or what have you, definitely want to highlight that. And employees, if you're hiring someone new, definitely want to do that as well. This is a good example of a visual. It says this person supports the Down syndrome community, and so do these people. So maybe you want to support the farmers market, you want to support a specific organization. Maybe you just want to promote what your business is about. This is a good visual. Another type of post that you see that's very active on Instagram are the carousel posts. These are the posts that are maybe about 10 different posts or pictures or videos that are within the same post. Here are the dimensions, and please, I'm going to send these slides out to Emily, and then she could definitely send these slides out to everyone else. Here's an example of a carousel post. So what I want to highlight are two things. You can see in the picture here that there is a little arrow or these little dots at the bottom of the visual that say that there's more pictures. If you were to touch it, you would see and be able to swipe, and that tells Instagram that what you're posting is worth having people stop themselves in their tracks to swipe to see these type of pictures. Another thing I wanted to highlight here is the Hootsuite. If you see there, it's basically a long version of a caption that kind of looks like a blog post. It makes you want to read what they have to say. Keywords are so essential when it comes to Instagram. If you, again, your products, your services, what you have to offer, it's very important to list these things in your social media post. So the next thing we want to talk about is increasing reach, when we're going to talk about each one of these things in detail. Lives. Nothing tests my deodorant strength. This is a TMI. Nothing tests my deodorant strength than going live. But what helps me is I know I'm going to schedule my lives in advance. I'm going to go live when I've gone to a conference, or maybe when I've gone and invested in getting my hair done. I know that every 6 to 8 weeks I have to get my hair done. So I know that every 6 to 8 weeks I kind of feel confident enough to test myself and go live. Why you want to go live? Because 80% of Instagram's users say they rather watch a live video than read a post from a brand. So it's worthwhile finding ways to make this more engaging. So why you want to go live? Maybe you have a new product, a new service, you want to show it off. I would actually take it a step further and say, I'm going to schedule in advance, then I'm going to go live next Monday at 12. And you have a script. So you're going to say, okay, I'm going to talk about, the farm and what we're offering for the summer camps, or I'm going to offer this new product or different produce, or I'm going to show off my food truck and show people, okay, this is where they have to turn in Jonesboro to see my food truck, and then I'm going to show a live video of all the menu products, and maybe have a couple of the options already cooked and shown to show my customers. It's so important to go live because it puts priority on the newsfeed and it tells others that you are live. So you definitely want to tune in and not miss out with what's going on. Stories. Okay, let's take a second to pause here. I'm going to have a sip of water. I want to see people in the chats. If you do stories, what type of stories you use, because again, we are in a buddy system in this webinar. we are here to help each other. So if you do stories, what type of stories do you do? So let me go back a step. Let me have a sip of water here. Stories, they disappear in 24 hours. One thing I want you to think about, these things disappear in 24 hours. The old stat and the old number was that about 500 million people use stories every day. That actually is an old stat, though. According to the gurus, they're saying that it's about 700 to 800 million people a day utilizing stories. And stories are very important because that's a communication. It's a way to for people, your customers, your audiences, your those individuals to tune in and to see what's up with your life. So that's why stories are so important. I always go on a soapbox. If you want me to die on a marketing hill, my marketing hill is stories. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for stories on Instagram. So that's why it's so important. And maybe you want to convince yourself to spend time in stories. So again, stories disappear in 24 hours. 50% of people have visited a website to make a purchase after seeing a product or service on stories. 62% of users are more interested in a brand after seeing an Instagram story. So the stories are very huge. How do you do stories? Again, this is a very 101 class here. The next one that I'm doing later on this month is going to be really aggressive and more advanced. If this is too much for you, that's why we have the Q&A section at the very end of this. And you can always feel free to message me and I'll be glad to help you. So how do you get to stories? Don't do this right now, just watch. But basically, you go to Instagram, you open up the app, and you press the little house little button icon in the bottom to make sure that you're actually at your news feed. And then you just swipe. You swipe to the side, and then it slowly opens up stories. My favorite feature in building a tribe is utilizing the video, the hands-free button. Every Wednesday, I go to my mastermind networking group. It's actually at Summit Leadership in Johnson City. And I'm there about 15 minutes early because the bus drops off my kids and I go straight over there. I record a video and I tell people what's coming up, what's going on with my life. I didn't do one today because I'm here with you all, but I did one yesterday talking about this workshop that I'm doing with you all. But I take pictures of what's going on. I post motivational quotes or manifesting quotes. I talk about what's going on, what upcoming events, if I'm doing something. And it basically shows your audience that you are there. I've always said this to people. I hate taking selfies. I hate taking pictures, but if I don't do it, my competitor does. And you'll remember my competitor, not me. I want you to challenge yourself. And I'm speaking about one person. There's one person in this call. I'm not going to name her name. There's one person in this call that I saw on the roster that will never post a picture of herself. But you're so loved and people want to see more of you. I'm going to just end it with that because then I'm going to get sentimental. So another thing that's very important, if you had to take anything away from stories, is that when you utilize the sticker, so you go, let me see if I can go back. There's a little thing that's up here that looks like a peeling smiley face. So when you do that, when you open up stories, and don't do this right now because I want you to watch. When you do that, oops, I don't know what happened here. Let me click that out. But when you do stories, you add the location sticker. When you add the location sticker it's called a geotag, you get about 79% more engagement. And for everyone that's here, that's still new to the area, the Californians, the Floridians, the New Yorkers, the Texans, those guys are lost. So they have their GPS on all the time on their phone. So when you post your location, you're probably going to attract all those new people moving to the area by adding the location in your stories. Another thing that you want to do, if this was me, I would say always add your location. And if you have a link, if you want people to go to your website to do something, there is a way to add a sticker link. Back in the day, you had to have 10,000 Instagram followers to be able to use the link feature or pay Facebook to boost that link feature. Now it's available to anyone and everyone, so definitely utilize it. So again, if you're doing stories, definitely add the location so you can attract more people to see your content that are not even your followers because you added the location sticker. So the next thing I want to talk about is why I love stories. When I see stories, I can see who is looking at my specific stories. So it pushes me as a marketer, as a small business owner, to not only have stuff on the news feed, but to actively have a story available almost every day. Every day I have something available, unless I'm on vacation like I was last week and I didn't want anyone to know that I was in Texas. I always turn on my stickers and or I can see my stories and I can physically see who is looking, and it's always the same people. These are loyal people that are coming back over and over and over to see who the stories. One time, this is funny. This is a funny side story. I went to Spain last fall and I wore a Bucky's leopard, yes, a leopard Bucky's bathing suit in Spain, and I tagged them. And you see, I'm not making this up. You can physically see that Bucky's saw that stories because I tagged them. There's a button that you can go here where you can mention, which is next to the location, and you can tag someone in your stories if they have an Instagram account. So I did that with Bucky's and it actually worked out. They actually saw my story. Okay, what do these things mean? So when you look at your Instagram stories, it tells you there's reach, there's impressions, there's follows, back, forward. This explains in detail what each one of those things mean. Okay, my second favorite thing other than stories is hashtags. So I'm going to take a second to have another sip of water. While I'm doing that, I would love to see in the chat what hashtags do you use? If you use a hashtag, if you don't know what a hashtag is, I'm going to definitely break it down. So I just want to give a second for the people in the chat to talk about hashtags. If you do use hashtags, which ones do you use? Okay, because we're all learning from each other. Remember, we're here to learn, and then maybe someone can learn from you as well. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Hashtags. It looks like the pound key, but hashtags are very important because it exposes you to a new audience. This past week, as soon as I came back from Texas, my friend who I discovered on Instagram, who's a home organizer, she finished doing my kitchen. And we all became friends because of a hashtag. I discovered her because I was following a specific hashtag. So people are like, what is the ROI? What's the return on investment on a hashtag? That moment with my friend that she did my whole kitchen. So let's talk about Instagram posts with hashtags. So this is crazy. So for the people that are multitasking, I'm going to read this really slowly in my Miami accent just for you. Instagram posts with at least one hashtag get 70% more likes and 392% more comments than those without hashtags. So let's think about a hashtag strategy. You can go up to 30 hashtags per post. Try not to use one that has over 1 million. Keywords associated with your industry or service, the town, city, or county that you reside in. So what I do is I have my hashtags all in my iPhone notes. So if I open up my iPhone notes, I have all those puppies there. So I just copy and paste the ones that I really want to use. And it's usually and I'll show you in the next couple of slides which ones I use, but I just copy and paste those. Usually it's like Johnson City, TN, and then those derivations. So let's see here. This is me going to the little magnifying glass at the Instagram. So next to the house icon, I click on the magnifying glass. It's called the Explore button. I am not responsible for anything that shows up here because I have no control over this. But I go to the magnifying glass and I type in Johnson City TN all together with the hashtag. And as you can see on the right next to it, there's a check mark. It shows me that I'm already following that hashtag. If you're not following that hashtag, it would show a circle with a plus, and then that would encourage you to follow that hashtag. So when I do that, it's showing me anyone that has recently used the Johnson City TN hashtag. And this is the search. So it's showing me anyone that has recently used it. And I follow hashtags. Like I said, I go to that little button on the top, and it's a check mark right now because I already follow that hashtag, but it would show you a plus, and that would tell you to start following that person. When I type in Johnson City TN and I put tags, it shows me all the variations of the Johnson City TN hashtags. Start looking at this, start researching what hashtags you want to utilize. So here's an example of the Johnson City Farmers Market, so you can see what they've posted. And one thing I wanted to highlight for those of you that have a brick and mortar, this is super huge. For those of you that have a physical location, this is very important. When you type in, so you go to the magnifying glass and you type in your business name or your farm's name or what have you, type in that name, and then you can see all the people that have checked into your facility. And you're going to hate me, this is homework. I'm pausing for emphasis. So when you do it to places, you go to places, you type in your business name. Hopefully your name shows up as a checked in location. You go into anyone that has checked in. So for example, I'm going to pick the Johnson City's Farmers Market. I click that, it opens this up and it shows me all the people that have recently you posted and checked into the Johnson City Farmers Market. I go to each one. If I was you, if I was the business owner of your farm or what have you, I would go to each one, and there's two search bars, top and recent. It's always going to show you the top one. I click on the recent because I definitely want to give a little pat in the back for my millennial friends that need that little pat in the back to say, I see you. I'm going to heart, I'm going to double tap, like your post, maybe comment and say, thank you for visiting my facility. Thank you for visiting my ice cream place at the farm. Thank you for coming to my food truck. Definitely take the time to see who has checked in and double tap and like. Sometimes this is not going to show up in your notifications where the heart symbol is on the top side of the post on Instagram. This is so important to acknowledge the people that have definitely invested their time visiting your business. So when I follow a hashtag, so for example, here I'm opening up a newsfeed post. I'm on my newsfeed because I follow the Johnson City TN hashtag. I see this post from Dos Gatos Coffee, which is in the downtown area. I don't follow Dos Gatos Coffee, but because I follow the hashtag, their post is being exposed to my newsfeed. And this is how people discover you, and this is how you discover them. They're like, oh, who is this Dos Gatos coffee place? You click on the bio, and this is why I started in the beginning of this presentation. Why the bio? Why the why? What you do to makes you stand out is so important, because people have that split second. They read your bio very quickly and say, okay, do I want to follow this place? Do I want to follow this business? Do I want to follow this farm? So that's why I think it's so important. So when they see your post, they've never heard of you before, and you have that 1 second to impress them with that amazing picture of a toast with some funky eggs. Now we're all getting hungry here. So that's why it's so important to make sure you're utilizing your hashtags so you're exposed to new people. Make sure your bio looks great and make sure you have a good picture. You can add hashtags in your stories. There's two places you can do that. So you can go, when you open up a story, you upload a picture, and then you can add hashtags on the AA icon right there. You can add up to 3. Try not to make them too small. Or when you open up the sticker, like I showed you in past slides, there's a hashtag sticker. You're only limited to 1 hashtag with that. So you use that sticker, and then it's exposing your post to a radius of people that follow that hashtag. Another thing I wanted to throw in there. So for example, Leslie has that ice cream place that's opening up at her farm store. She can have a countdown. First scoop is free if you purchase 2 other ice creams or something. You can say, we have a new product that just launched. Here's a countdown. It notifies your customer that you have a countdown, and it notifies them when the countdown has expired. So this is so important to utilize these stickers. And there's fun ones like poll, quiz, like what product should we come up with next? You have a quiz, you have a poll question, you can add a GIF, however you want to pronounce it. You can do a lot of little fun things to make your Instagram stories pop and be more fun and engaging. I always tell the story that if I wasn't for the fact that I'm going to a lunch today, I usually have a very, boring burned sandwich, because I turn on my stories and I'm toasting my bread and I don't realize that my toast has toasted my bread to death. And then I'm looking at my stories and I don't realize that my bread has burned. I smell it before I see it. Because I look at stories all the time as I'm bored and waiting for things to happen in a line somewhere. So another thing, this is super important, especially for me, the captions. I was just showing a client yesterday. She's always sharing videos, and I'm like, I'm not a lip reader. So when you open up stories, you record a video and then you can click on the caption stickers and then it creates a caption. And it usually picks up my Miami accent pretty accurately. But you can you can add captions. So for anyone that's watching your story and they're somewhere in a public setting or what have you, next to their spouse in bed, they can see what you're saying and it picks up your captions. So this is my favorite slide. We're almost towards the end of this because I wanted to leave room for questions, but this is super important. And someone that's in the call is going to get a kick out of this. This is a slide that I use in every one of my Instagram presentations, and it means a lot to me. So how to be top of mind. So I read a Forbes article, and this is the link that I read in the Forbes article. It says businesses have a 60 to 70% chance of selling to an existing customer, while the probability of selling to a new prospect is 5 to 20%. I basically read that stat and I had a panic attack. I'm like, here I am trying to be nice and try to get new people when I just really cultivate the current customers that I'm working with. So, Bellafina chocolates, 100% of the proceeds benefit local children charities. They're based out of Kingsport. So, I have my business logo printed on the moonshine truffles, and I sent 3 boxes to 3 outspoken clients that I had locally. What happened? They posted about the fact that they got these amazing truffles, that they're good, it's great because it supports children charities and what have you. Then I shared the fact that they shared about my truffles, and then it was just like a ripple effect. I was exposed to their audiences, they were exposed to my audience, and it was a beautiful ripple effect. But what does that mean with social media? How do we become top of mind for our current customers? So this is the secret that I'm going to share with you. This is my favorite tip on Instagram. So I'm super excited to share this with you right now. So one thing I want you to do, who is a prospect, an MVP, a top customer, someone you want to work with, a neighboring business? Who are people that so think about this, write this down. Who's your top customers? Who are your MVPs? Who are the people that you want to work with? Who's the ketchup to your mustard? Who are people that are compliment with what you do? Second thing is think about those people, really marinate on that. Now go to their Instagram profile, follow them. And then when you click the follow button on the top side, it's missing it because this is an example here. A little bell icon appears. So you have to follow them first. Then a little bell icon appears with that pink arrow is, and then it tells you if you want to turn on post notifications. So a little bell icon appears and you say, okay, I want to follow their posts or their stories or all 3 of them. When you do that, I like, for example, I'm talking to you and it says so and so has posted on Instagram. This is a top client. This is someone I really want to work with. I immediately like and comment. So this is how I become top of mind. During the height of COVID, I had a side hustle, and I got this side hustle project because I did this one exercise. I was teaching something like this at the TSBDC across the street when they were at the Fresh Market area in Johnson City in that crazy U-turn in front of the Boys and Girls Club. I was physically showing this to someone, and I just happened to turn it off on someone random. Well, that random person, I kept every time they posted, I kept getting notified. So and so has posted. So and so has posted. So I immediately stopped what I was doing, double tapped, liked it, and then during the height of COVID, she reached out to me. She's like, Valentina, I have this side hustle, this opportunity for you. Would you be interested in doing this? For 2 years, I had this amazing side hustle, and it all happened because of this bell icon that I turned on. So you have to follow the profile first, and the little bell icon appears. And this has led me to so many great things because I'm top of mind. So now we're going to address the 16 chat alerts that we have right here. I really want to thank you all I really want to I'm very grateful for those of you that joined in with me today. And if you wanted to stay up to date with what I'm doing next, this is my QR code. Basically, you just take a picture of that, and then a little like yellow thing appears as you're taking the picture. And this is going to keep you informed of my next workshop, of the next thing. So, in case you missed the memo, I'm doing a really advanced Instagram workshop at the end of the month with the same folks that you're tuning in with here today. So, this is a good way to do that. I just was featured in the most amazing marketing book ever, specifically on the chapter on Instagram. So that book's available. But again, most importantly, if you want to reach out to me privately, this is a very important way to reach out. Maybe you don't have that question right now. Maybe you start doing the dishes or you're in the shower or whatever. I always have the best ideas when I'm near water. So if you have any questions specific, you don't want to ask here, maybe you want to ask me later, this is the best way to reach out to me. And I'm just grateful that I'm here today with you all. So I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to turn on my face. It's probably flushed because I get all like excited here. I have like the fan hitting me and everything. So Emily, I'm going to unmute you, or you can unmute yourself here, and we're going to get started with the questions.
Thank you
I'm
so
going
much.
to
I
I'm
really
going to stop the
liked.
recording very quickly so I can so I'm going to stop the recording.